In last lecture of alcohols, we have discussed about the physical properties and two chemical properties of alcohol. So far we have discussed about the physical properties as well as the acidic reactions of alcohol as well as the nucleophilic substitution reactions of alcohol. Today we are going to discuss about more reactions of alcohol, and first one among them is special reactions of alcohol. Today we are going to discuss about the special reactions of alcohols. Special reactions of alcohol. And among special reactions of alcohol, the first one is dehydrogenation reaction. Among special reactions of alcohol, the first reaction we are going to discuss, that is the dehydrogenation reaction. As the name is suggesting, D means removal, hydrogen, removal of hydrogen. In these reactions, removal of hydrogen take place, and for that we have to pass alcohol through copper tube at 573 Kelvin. When any alcohol is passed through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, then dehydrogenation will take place, but the product form will depend on nature of the alcohol we are taking. If a primary alcohol will be there, then the product form will be aldehyde. When primary alcohol is passed through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, then the product form will be an aldehyde. While this can be reversed by reduction with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride or sodium in presence of ethyl alcohol. So, in this reaction, an alcohol can be changed into aldehyde and aldehyde can be changed into alcohol. If we want to convert a primary alcohol into aldehyde, then we have to pass it through copper tube at 573 Kelvin. While if we want to convert aldehyde into a primary alcohol, then we have to do the reduction with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride or sodium in presence of ethyl alcohol. Similarly, when a secondary alcohol is passed through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, secondary alcohol is passed through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, then the product form will be a ketone, and this ketone can be changed into secondary alcohol by reduction with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride or sodium in presence of ethyl alcohol. Similarly, when a tertiary alcohol is passed through copper tube, then dehydration will take place. Instead of dehydrogenation, dehydration will take place, and due to which the product form will be an alkene. When a tertiary alcohol is passed through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, then the dehydration will take place, and due to which we will get an alkene as a product. We will get an alkene as a product. I hope you understand. Now I will do the conversions on basis of this. The first special reactions of alcohol is the dehydrogenation reaction, and for dehydrogenation reaction, the alcohol need to be passed through copper tube at 573 Kelvin. If we will pass primary alcohol through copper tube at 573, then the product form will be an aldehyde. If we pass secondary alcohol through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, then the product form will be ketone. And if we pass tertiary alcohol through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, then the product form will be alkene, as I have mentioned here. Now we have to do the conversions on basis of this. The first conversion is convert ethyl alcohol into acetaldehyde. Convert ethyl alcohol into acetaldehyde. For that we have to decrease the number of hydrogen, hence pass it through copper tube at 573 Kelvin. The product form will be acetaldehyde plus hydrogen. Ethyl alcohol on passing through copper tube at 573 Kelvin will give you acetaldehyde plus hydrogen. Similarly, next question might be convert acetaldehyde into ethyl alcohol. Acetaldehyde into ethyl alcohol. Acetaldehyde into ethyl alcohol. In this case, reduction needs to be done, and partial reduction will be done with lithium aluminum hydride. Lithium acetaldehyde on reduction with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium orohydride or sodium in ethyl alcohol will give you alcohol. Next question might be convert isopropyl alcohol into acetone. Convert isopropyl alcohol into acetone. Isopropyl alcohol into acetone. For that we need to do the dehydrogenation. Hence, pass secondary alcohol through a copper tube at 573 Kelvin. Pass isopropyl alcohol through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, due to which the product form will be acetone plus hydrogen. Similarly, question might be there, convert acetone into isopropyl alcohol. Acetone into isopropyl alcohol. Acetone into isopropyl alcohol. For that, do the reduction of isopropyl alcohol. Do the reduction of isopropyl alcohol with the lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride or sodium in presence of ethyl alcohol, due to which the product form will be isopropyl alcohol. Alcohols can be changed into aldehyde ketone, and ketone and aldehyde can be changed into alcohol depending on the reducing agent or the substance through which we are passing them through. Next conversion might be, that is also very important one, and already we have discussed, that is convert formaldehyde into acetaldehyde. Convert formaldehyde into acetaldehyde. As here we need to increase one carbon, so first add Grignard reagent to it, CH3MgBr. Nucleophilic addition might take place. MgBr group goes to oxygen and CH3 will go to carbon, and then hydrolyze it. We will get ethyl alcohol, and then ethyl alcohol on passing through copper tube at 573 Kelvin will give you acetaldehyde as a product. Acetaldehyde as a product. Next question might be, convert acetaldehyde into acetone. Acetaldehyde into acetone. Same way, we have to increase one carbon atom, so add methyl magnesium bromide to it. Similarly, nucleophilic addition will be there. CH3 will go to carbon and MgBr goes to oxygen. Then hydrolyze it. On hydrolysis, it will produce isopropyl alcohol, and then pass isopropyl alcohol through copper tube at 573 Kelvin, due to which the dehydrogenation might take place. After dehydrogenation reaction, next reaction we are going to discuss about alcohol, that is the dehydration reaction. Next reaction of alcohols, which is going to be discussed by us in special reaction category, that is the dehydration reaction. As the name is suggesting, dehydration means removal of water. Removal of water. And the alcohols can undergo two types of dehydration. Alcohols can undergo two types of dehydration. The one is acidic dehydration. One is acidic dehydration. And second one is catalytic dehydration. Acidic dehydration and catalytic dehydration. Acidic dehydration and catalytic dehydration. Dehydration takes place by two methods. One is acidic dehydration and the second one is catalytic dehydration. For acidic dehydration, the dehydrating agent used will be H2SO4 plus H3PO4. For acidic dehydration, the dehydrating agent might be H2SO4 or H3PO4, and the product will depend on temperature. The product will depend on temperature. First case is if temperature is 25 degrees centigrade or 298 Kelvin temperature, here the product form will be oxonium salt. Product form will be oxonium salt because removal of water will not take place, and salt form will be ROH2 positive, HSO4 negative. Next case is when temperature is 110 degrees centigrade or 383 Kelvin. In this case, the product form will be bisulfate salt. Product form will be bisulfate salt and water is removed. Next case is at 140 degrees centigrade or 413 Kelvin. At this temperature, alcohols will produce ether as a product. Alcohols will produce ether as a product. But if temperature will be 170 degrees centigrade or 443 Kelvin, if temperature will be 170 degrees centigrade or 443 Kelvin temperature, then in this case the product form will be alkene plus water. Alkene plus water, and this alkene is going to be formed by Sadzaf's rule. Alkene is going to be formed by Sadzaf's rule. Alkene is going to be formed by Sadzaf's rule, and Sadzaf's rule states that if during elimination more than one product is formed, then that product is preferred in which double bonded carbon atom are maximum alkylated. During dehydration of alcohols at 170 degrees centigrade or 443 Kelvin temperature, the product form will be alkene, and this alkene is going to be formed according to Sadzaf's rule. And according to Sadzaf's rule, if during elimination more than one product is formed, then that product is preferred in which double bonded carbon atom are maximum alkylated. Now I am going to take example of dehydration of few alcohols, and then we will discuss the mechanism of dehydration of any alcohol to give alkene. So first question I am taking dehydration of ethyl alcohol to give alkene, ethene. Dehydration of ethyl alcohol to give ethene. Ethyl alcohol react with concentrated H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin to give you ethene plus water. And if we write down the mechanism of this reaction, then we can do it. This reaction takes place in 3 steps, and the first step will be protonation of alcohol. First step will be protonation of alcohol. First step will be protonation of alcohol. The catalyst H2SO4 undergoes dissociation to give you H positive as a proton plus HSO4 negative, and this H positive combined with alcohol due to presence of lone pair of electron to produce protonated alcohol. To produce protonated alcohol. Produce protonated alcohol. Next step will be removal of water. Removal of water. From protonated alcohol, removal of water takes place at 170 degrees centigrade. From protonated alcohol, removal of water takes place at 170 degrees centigrade, due to which we will get a carbocation as a product. We will get a carbocation as a product. And the last step will be removal of proton. Removal of proton. The carbocation will use H positive ion to form alkene. Removal of H positive ion. And due to which H2SO4 is regenerated, hence it shows that H2SO4 acts as a catalyst here. Next example of dehydration, that will be the catalytic dehydration, and for that the dehydrating agent used will be Al2O3. For catalytic dehydration of alcohol, the dehydrating agent will be Al2O3. dehydrating agent will be Al2O3. Here also the product depend on temperature. If temperature will be 533 Kelvin, if temperature will be 533 Kelvin, then alcohols will produce ether as a product. Alcohols on heating with Al2O3 at 533 Kelvin will produce ether as a product. Will produce ether as a product. And if at 623 Kelvin temperature, the product form will be alkene. At 623 Kelvin temperature, the product form will be an alkene plus water. Alkene plus water. I hope you understand about the dehydration and dehydrogenation. Now I am discussing about few conversions which may be based on dehydration reaction itself. And the first I am going to discuss few easiest one, and then we will proceed the harder one. And the first is convert propene into propane 2-ol. First conversion is propene into propane 2-ol. Here we need to do the Markov addition. So simple acidic hydration will do it. So add water to propene in presence of dilute H2SO4. Propene plus water in presence of dilute H2SO4 will give you propane 2-ol. Will give you propane 2-ol. And it will be example of electrophilic addition and take place according to Markov addition rule. Next conversion will be propane into propane 1-ol. Propane 1-ol. It is a very important thing. Some students do the mistake. They will add the water same here and do the conversion, and it will be wrong. So here, if we want to prepare propane 1-ol, then it should be according to anti-Markov addition. That's why this reaction can be done in two ways. First way will be add HBr to propane in presence of organic peroxide. HBr to propane in organic peroxide, due to which we will get 1 bromopropane. We will get 1 bromopropane, and that 1 bromopropane react with aqueous NaOH to give propane 1-ol as a product. To give propane 1-ol as a product. And second way of this will be hydroboration oxidation reaction. First, add diborane to propane. Add diborane to propane, due to which the product form will be tripropyl borane. Product form will be tripropyl borane, and that tripropyl bromine react with H2O2 to give you propane 1-ol. Next question will be convert propane 1-ol into propane 2-ol. Convert propane 1-ol into propane 2-ol. Propane 1-ol into propane 2-ol. And for this conversion, first do the dehydration of propane 1-ol with H2SO4 at 443 Kelvin, due to which the product form will be propene. And then propene react with water in presence of dilute H2SO4 to give you propane 2-ol. Next question will be convert propane 2-ol into propane 1-ol. Propane 2-ol into propane 1-ol. For this, add concentrated H2SO4 to it, due to which the product form will be propene. And then propene react with HBr in organic peroxide to give 1 bromopropane. And then 1 bromopropane react with aqueous NaOH. React with aqueous NaOH to give propane 1-ol. To give propane 1-ol. And second way will be add BH3 to propene. Then we will get tripropyl boron and this tripropyl borate react with H2O2 to give propane mono. I hope you understand these questions. These are very important one for your board exams as well as competitive exams. And the third special reactions of alcohol will be oxidation reaction. Third important reaction of alcohol will be oxidation reaction. Here, in oxidation reaction, the product will depend on nature of the oxidizing agent. If you are going to use stronger oxidizing agent, then primary alcohol will form first aldehyde, then carboxylic acid, and number of carbon in 3 states remains same. When oxidation of a primary alcohol is done in presence of a stronger oxidizing agent, then the product form will be aldehyde, and that further changed into carboxylic acid, and all 3 states have same number of carbon atom. In case of secondary alcohol, first we will get ketone, and that ketone on oxidation with carbo will produce carboxylic acid, and carbon atom chain decreases by 1. Carbon atom chain get decreased, and finally for tertiary alcohol, first we will get ketone. First the product form will be ketone, and then ketone on further oxidation will carboxylic acid. In this case, number of carbon atom decreases in both states. For primary alcohol, all 3 states have same number of carbon atom. For secondary alcohol, the final state has lesser number of carbon atom, and for tertiary alcohol, all second and third states have less number of carbon. Next example of oxidation reaction will be iodoform oxidation or holoform oxidation. That is also a very important topic. Iodoform oxidation or holoform oxidation, when an alcohol, aldehyde or ketone having activated methyl group, when an alcohol, aldehyde or ketone having activated methyl group are reacted with iodine in presence of NaOH or KOH, we will get yellow precipitate of iodoform as a product. And among primary alcohol, only ethyl alcohol can give this test. Among primary alcohol, only ethyl alcohol can give this test. First, ethyl alcohol will react with iodine to give acetaldehyde, and then acetaldehyde react with iodine in presence of NaOH to give triiodoaldehyde, and then triiodoaldehyde react with NaOH to give iodoform plus sodium salt of formic acid. Sodium salt of formic acid, and this test is known as iodoform test. With this, we comes to end of the whole properties of alcohol. Now we are going to discuss about the method by which we can distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. How can we distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol? So following methods can be used to distinguish, and the first one is Lucas reagent test. Lucas reagent test. As I have mentioned, Lucas reagent is HCl in presence of anhydrous ZnCl2, and due to this reaction, chloroalkane is going to be formed, and due to which the turbidity is going to be produced, and by denoting the time of turbidity appearance, we can predict the nature of alcohol. If the turbidity appears immediately, then alcohol will be tertiary, and if the turbidity after 5 to 10 minutes, alcohol will be secondary, and if the turbidity appears on heating, then it will be primary. Next test will be dehydrogenation reaction, as today we have discussed. During dehydrogenation reaction, if we will pass primary alcohol through copper tube, then the product form will be aldehyde. If secondary alcohol is passed, then product form will be ketone, and if tertiary alcohol is passed, then product form will be alkene. If we pass primary alcohol aldehyde, secondary alcohol ketone, and tertiary alcohol alkene. Third method is oxidation reaction, as I have mentioned here. If a primary alcohol is oxidized with stronger oxidizing agent, then the product form will be carboxylic acid, but all three state has same number of carbon atom. In secondary alcohol, in middle we will get ketone, and final stage carboxylic acid, but carbon become less. And in case of tertiary alcohol, first ketone, then carboxylic acid, and carbon atom become less in both the states. And the last method by which we can distinguish between primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohol, and that method is Victor-Mayer test. It is also an important method, Victor-Mayer test. Victor-Mayer test. In this test, first alcohol is reacted with Pi3, due to which the nucleophilic substitution take place, and we will get iodoalkane, and then iodoalkane react with AgNO2 to give nitroalkane, and then nitroalkane react with HNO2 to give nitrolic acid, by removal of water, and nitrolic acid react with KOH to produce red blood coloration. If during Victor-Mayer test red blood color is produced, then alcohol will be primary. 4-step reaction will there. First Pi3, then AgNO2, then HNO2, and then finally KOH. Similarly for secondary alcohol, first we have to add Pi3. If we will add Pi3, then iodoalkane is formed. That iodoalkane react with AgNO2 to produce nitroalkane, and then nitroalkane react with HNO2 to produce pseudo-nitro, and then pseudo-nitro react with KOH to produce blue color. Pseudo-nitro react with KOH to produce blue color. And finally for tertiary alcohol, first we have to add Pi3, then we will get iodoalkane, then iodoalkane react with AgNO2 to produce nitroalkane. But in this case, carbon is not having any hydrogen, so it cannot react with HNO2. So there will be no reaction. And when KOH is added to it, then there will be no color. KOH is added to it, then will be no color. And this test is known as Victor-Mayer test. For Victor-Mayer test, if red blood color is produced, then alcohol will be primary. If